let's yeah. So maybe a little like introduction to what I'm gonna talk about today. So yeah, so regarding like all the things I wanted to say, and there are quite important ones to point that we have amazing superpowers as an engineers, especially because we are human beings that are very very skilled. So yeah, let's focus on the things that we can achieve by being flexible and by trust. So let me share my second screen. I promise it won't echo this time. I know how to do it. It's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna start sharing. Yeah, and double check that it works. Brilliant. Cool. So yeah, welcome to like engineering superpowers by Beata. So first of all, I would like to talk about the adaptability and flexibility. So let's imagine this little fella here is an engineer like me or you. He looks kind of vampire. So yeah, he doesn't really like working with people like we all do, kind of. You know what I mean? He's a total vampire geek. He can do stuff on his own, and he loves coding like we all do. Yeah. So yeah, stay away. So this is our vampire, and he's got some cool stuff that we kind of all have, which is like our favorite tools that we use, our favorite languages that we use. Plus, on the other side, we have like soft skills that kind of are tools as well. Yeah. So yeah, and that and obviously the behaviors. Yeah, he keeps his boundaries very very strict. So because he's a vampire, he doesn't want to be kind of distracted. So yeah, and this is kind of like we can all relate to that little fluffy bat. So but there are like little fluffy other things, like kind of loads of them. Yeah, these are changes, and they scream to him like, hey hey, we are here too, we are here, don't ignore us. Yeah, so what sort of changes can we face, like as a human beings? Yeah. So positive and negative, like career changes, personal changes, internal changes, external changes. In terms of technology, what sort of changes we can face, like industry shifts, innovations, new programming languages. Also, as a workplace changes, we can face another types of changes. So, for example, new ideas, new projects, new team structure, new expectations, new responsibilities, and processes. So what we can do, what this poor oh sorry, so what this poor vampire can do with you know those changes. So first of all, we need to accept them. Changes will always happen, and the fact that something is changing, that means that it is evolving. So what else can we do? We can stay open-minded, and it's sometimes tricky because we like our tools, we like our languages, especially programmers that kind of stick to their favorite programming language. Sometimes it's difficult to have that shift. Yeah, what we can do also is embrace changes and learn from them. But above it all, we should never ignore the changes. Never, never ignore the changes. Okay, and there is something like, that we all should think about is that growth mindset. That, you know, it's not kind of like by default in our mind. We tend to, as human beings, we like to stick in safe places, all with our habits, with our everything, like our like a safe bubble. But that growth mindset is taking us out of it. And what it means, in terms of the changes, it means that we should see changes as an opportunity. Every single change is an opportunity for me to make my life better. I know it's sometimes difficult and tricky to make a good change. Obviously, good changes are always good, and this we can see it as an opportunity, like by default. But sometimes negative changes, or the changes that we don't kind of like or accept, are the most, let's say, crucial one for the opportunities that open after. So how to maintain that sort of mindset, that growth mindset? I think the most important part in this case is trust. Trust. Okay, so this is me or any of you, and sometimes I ask myself, like, do I trust myself, like as a human being? Do I really trust myself? And there are factors that, yes, I do trust myself, and there are factors like, nope. Like every time I go out and they lock my door, like I don't trust myself in that way. Yeah, because I'm just a human being, and I do checklists sometimes, especially when I go to travel and then I like take the passport, you know, that sort of stuff. And yeah, I'm just a human being. I can be wrong. I am happy to delegate because I trust the others. I'm My head is like not like meant to be a storage, and I can't just store everything in my head. Yeah, I use notes for this, and yeah, and I simply can forget. So I can kind of have like a space that I don't trust myself, but in general, yes, I do trust myself. I do trust myself. Why? Because how come I can kind of, expect others to trust me if I don't trust myself? Yeah. So let's talk about like professional trust. Um, yeah. So as you can see, we have like that relationship between us, yeah, as and other engineers. I forgot that I have a pen and I can draw on it. Sorry. Yeah, and stakeholders. Yeah. So that relationship, that trust relationship, is crucial because uh, you know we can do something together if we trust each other in a very professional way, and it works both ways. Yeah, they trust me, I trust them. So that what builds the autonomy and keeps that autonomy like alive. So we have a freedom to do stuff together. So this is a kind of practical side of the trust. Yeah. So we can kind of ask ourselves, I know my skills. Yes, I do. I am professional. I do things on time. I'm reliable. I'm getting my work done, and I estimate accurately. But the estimation, we have like we all have trouble with that. So yeah, we can say like, yeah, if that one is not like tick, that's fine. We can still trust each other. Yeah, and from the stakeholders side of view, do I keep my promises? Do we share the same values? This is super important, and probably it's going to be another lightning talk about values, because we do share the same values. We can be different, but we need to share the same values to trust each other. Yeah, and do we have the autonomy? Do we value community over structure? And there is another factor of trust. So that one was first one, the practical one. And there is emotional trust, which is extremely important in the workplace as well. So, and it's kind of, related to emotional intelligence. And you need to kind of ask yourselves, and do I have your back? Um, do I have people on my side? Do I feel safe? Are people kind to me? Am I kind to myself as well? Do I respect myself? Does other respect me? Do we share the same values? And are we honest? Because there are, that would builds up, yeah, builds up that trust, that builds the team, the community. But there are factors that kind of builds up also the mistrust, which we kind of, I think we need to speak about as well. Yeah, but this is the mistrust, and this is very, very, very sad thing, which is fear. And the question is obviously that kind of fear is killing the trust and innovation, especially innovation in our industry. But on the human level, if I'm scared of something, if I feel fear, that means that I don't trust myself. And the same way it works with teams and communities. If we are afraid of something, we will never be able to trust ourselves. We will never be innovative. There are kind of different factors of mistrust that it's worth mentioning as well. Bad time management, lack of communication, not admitted failures. If we fail, that's fine. The world won't end, and that's what I've learned quite a lot. Also, that dishonesty and overpromising. Overpromising is not related to not ability to estimate accurately. It's not that thing. So if we kind of try to eliminate the mistrust factors, we can think about that most important part, the trust, and how we build it and how we keep it. And yeah, and this is what will help us to tackle any sort of changes, how to save that growth mindset that we kind of all want to have as a human beings, as engineers, as a engineering team. And that's pretty much it from me. And yeah, we have 10 seconds to 15 minutes, so there is no room for questions. Thank you.